He may be.
He might have
Is he the Rizz god?
Dude, he's a Rizz god. I think.
Is he the Rizz god?
He's got the
Probably.
charisma.
Yeah.
He's a Rizz god, dude.
Rizz. This is the Rizz episode.
Yeah, it's the Rizz episode.
Presented by Ritz.
Double A up in Atlanta. He's rizzed on Sean Murphy a little bit, and he's signed for a fucking insanely cheap contract. That guy.
Everyone does.
Everyone does.
I just want to like hang out with him. I bet you he would get me to sign a contract that'd be like, how did he get me to sign this? I don't even know how to intro into the show. That's like I'm so dependent on Brian. It's like Pavlov with the bell, like, and then the dog gets fed.
What's up, guys? It's Beyond the Diamond. We have Garrett, Noah, and Dez here talking about some baseball. Take it away, boys.
That's our intro.
That's our intro.
Baseball.
Yeah, we
About
love
some
it.
Baseball.
Talking ball with the boys.
And if you're on audio, you probably skipped this podcast episode already.
Mhm.
This is episode 55
Y'all have them
of
numbered?
the Beyond the
We
Diamond
do not.
podcast.
Oh,
this is not
That might be a
episode
very good
55.
guess, though. We're probably close to that.
Oh, that's okay.
Is it actually, or
Are
did you
you
make
guys
that up?
gaslighting me right now? Because I definitely counted last night.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh, wow.
You
Okay.
counted last night?
No, I would just gaslight
Oh.
y'all.
Oh! Double
Oh!
gaslight.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of gas, a lot of pitchers have been signed recently.
Oh, yeah.
Justin Verlander to the Mets.
Nathan Eovaldi to the Rangers.
Carlos Correa, snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
That's
Was a
going on
giant.
You have no idea.
Then wasn't a
the
giant.
total.
Then was a Met. 3 Olive Martini in Hawaii at 3 a.m. Now not a Met.
Who knows?
But will he be a Met?
I don't know. But
All right, the Correa situation is probably one of the most
Should we just
fascinating
jump into
stories.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should because it's one of the most fascinating stories like in free agency I've heard in a while. Like,
yeah.
also Lalima's on vacation right now.
Yeah.
Everyone tuning in.
Also,
Forgot to show that.
the Correa thing is weird because we heard things about his back last year, right? And like kind of with whenever like the negotiations with the Astros were going on, it was kind of weird. But this seems to have nothing to do with his back. It's like his ankle or something. With like, what does he have, like arthritis or something weird
No,
going
he-
on?
he literally has a plate in
Yeah,
his
he's
leg.
What? And no one knew about this?
Arthritis?
I don't know. There's something going
he's
on.
he's no
This pod
doctor.
is great.
I'm no doctor.
You don't know ball, dude.
There's no ball levels today.
Yeah, so Carlos Correa got injured before he was Carlos Correa in 2014. Shattered his leg, broke his leg and ankle in the minors in 2014.
I remember that day. I was like, fuck.
I thought then I was like, well,
I thought it-
there goes another number one pick that we
number one
lost.
prospect. Is,
I was like, Appel better be good. Like we didn't get Brady Aiken. Like there goes Carlos Correa. Like, and then obviously Correa has a great career here. World Series champion, all the moments, all these
All-star.
all-star appearances, all
Gold
these different
Glove.
moments we'll talk up to our kids and grandkids about. And then he goes to Minnesota for a year, a little, summer abroad.
Yeah.
Is this weird? It was his weird transitional
Yeah,
phase.
it's just like,
Little
hey,
sabbatical.
It's a
Yeah.
sabbatical.
Yeah.
Let's take a 5th year, a little victory lap. Let's
Yeah.
just go to Minnesota.
he
a
really
little-
had to find himself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just got to go to the Great Lakes and find yourself.
Yeah.
Is Minnesota by the Great Lakes?
Yeah,
Probably, yeah, it's probably up
it's kind
around.
of. I don't know.
Close.
Yeah, it's close.
Geographically speaking,
Geographically. By
relatively.
by Baltimore.
Closer than Houston.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And has a good year. Not
Yeah.
great year, good year.
Solid.
Solid year, some would say. And then is due to have a monster free agent deal. Ton of shortstops on the board, ton of money being thrown around. He gets that long-term deal, the high AAV, everything that he wanted when he was leaving Houston, he got. Giants get him. Former Astros assistant GM, now turned GM, gets his guy. They miss on Judge. Then the physical happens. And I don't know. There's a feel like there was some like buyer's remorse there. And because the injury popping up was not his back like we talked about. It was about this plate in his ankle
Right.
and the surgery from 2014. And I'm obviously biased because Carlos Correa is the first Astro to do stuff with us. He wore our shirts. He did everything. Great supporter, great friend. But it felt like if you were going to hang your hat on anything, it was not on a injury that was sustained in 2014 because he played with the Houston Astros and did so well
Yeah.
through that span
Yeah.
with that injury closer
Exactly.
to when that injury occurred.
Right.
Well, I think what they're worried about is
The long
over
term.
time his bones. How they
Correct.
Right.
But that's
age and
Sign him
but
to-
that's with any long-term contract.
Yeah.
So like hanging
Yeah.
the hat on that
Yeah.
is weird. So
yeah. I mean, I think with any long term contract, especially what was it, 13 years?
Yeah.
13, yeah.
Which is
Wh-
nuts.
you already know those last 4 to 5 years are not good. Like
Mhm.
you know that whether he's
You know when he gets a
fully
38
healthy now
yeah.
or like you know that with just with
You
anybody.
pay for the sins later.
Yeah, you
That's
know
fine.
that you're taking on a risk. So I just don't know. Like they have a chance to potentially win like at least 2-3 championships over the next 8 years.
Yeah.
With him, like with their current roster, they have a chance.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know what the big holdup is now, especially after the issue with the Giants. What they think the Giants were just like making it up. Like I don't understand.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
They just thought the Giants were dumb. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why they.
So
Keep
weird.
trying.
It was a weird situation because when I first got the notification that he signed for 13 years, I was like, wow, okay. So all that shit from the past off season about him not being able to get that long-term deal that he wants, that just went kaput. You know, Giants are the ones that like are taking the chance. They
Dropped
don't
that
give-
midnight.
Yeah, dropped it.
Yeah.
Dropped it at midnight. It was in bed. I was like, what the fuck? Why is my phone blowing up? Holy shit! Huge deal for Correa. Good for him.
13, what was it, 360, something like that?
315.
Yeah.
No, it was 350.
13
I was talking
years
about the
for
Giants.
The
Deal.
The
Giants.
Giants
did.
deal.
yeah, 350.
Yeah, 350.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I was like, well, good for him. 9 days later, though, fucking that got turned upside down.
Well, this explains the Astros side of this.
Absolutely.
From the beginning, from last year, they know about his ankle. They know about his back. They know all the things that these teams are finding out now. So obviously, like now it makes sense why they never really, because they knew he wanted a long-term contract. And
If they even
weren't
offered that contract.
gonna- yeah.
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 Well, Josh, you mentioned a good point about the Mets and the like thinking like what do they expect to find out? They're going to see the same thing the Giants saw.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a surprise. It's
Exactly.
not a bugaboo. I think
Yeah.
the big thing, and I really didn't see it, didn't notice it about it at all until I saw TikTok. That they like the guys, I forgot his name, but he does a simulation of all the free agents on like MLB The Show, like what their
Oh,
careers
yeah,
are, and
yeah.
and he like puts it out, and I was like, holy shit! This next contract, whether it's the Mets or the Giants or whoever, and if he gets this like amount of years, it'll double the time his worth when he played in Houston.
Holy
Oh, yeah.
shit.
Like and like I couldn't fathom that. I was like, holy shit! Like Carlos Correa, and when his career is said and done, he'll only play like a third of his career
Yeah.
was in
Houston.
Houston,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
like it to me, it'll be always be like the Houston years.
Yeah.
I'll never really think about the other years,
Yeah.
obviously being here, but
History
That's-
will look at him
that's
as
what
a,
sucks, about when your hometown player moves on. Because then if
Yeah.
what if he was a Hall of Fame player at 40?
Yeah.
yeah,
Then he's not going to go in as an Astro probably.
No.
And that's like that sucks.
And
that
I-
does suck.
it
The
does.
guy you took 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does suck because I guess from what I'm hearing, I think we're all hearing, if his medicals were fine, he would most likely be an Astro long term.
Maybe.
You would think.
I don't
don't
know.
know, actually.
I don't see the Astros ever doing a 9+ year deal.
It's also crazy that Reddick is just the longest deal we've ever had.
It's
like,
wild.
like if
Wow,
that's like
Josh Reddick of
that
all
is a
people.
trivia night like
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Like when you look back at the Astros golden age and you're just like, who is like the long-term contract that was like out of the Houston Astros, people would be like, oh, Bregman or Altuve or like, oh, and they're like, no, it's actually Reddick.
Joshua Reddick.
He's the longest free agent contract.
Yeah,
Yeah.
free agent.
Yeah.
contract.
Yes, of course, not extension, but
But like the cool thing, I think what you're seeing is you have Boris just working double overtime, and we
Oh,
saw it.
There's a reason everybody makes.
There's a reason why he's goated.
Yeah.
And so we saw, I forgot it was Athletic or whoever wrote the story about when the Giants deal fell apart. Correa's at like the ceremony with the jersey on. Like
that's crazy
that's
to me.
weird.
Dude.
That's
Dude,
so
it's
crazy.
crazy. I didn't know that happened until y'all told me. I was like, he's fucking backstage with his
With his
jersey
jersey?
on, ready to come out.
I can't believe they let it get that far. Like, what,
Yeah.
what were they waiting on?
Like,
Does the right hand not know what the left hand
Were
is
they
doing?
waiting on the results? Like, literally, like, I need the results. I need, like, why would you schedule the press conference before, like,
so
that?
weird.
So news always drops, and there's like a running bit here. Like I'm either napping or I'm asleep, and when signings happen, and that happened with the Correa news, I went to bed like at 9. But when the Correa stuff broke about like, it felt like a high school breakup, right? The Giants like scrubbed everything off the internet
Yeah.
of like Carlos
Yeah.
Correa being mentioned.
Yep.
They were like promoting tickets, they were doing all this stuff, and they just
sold a bunch
scrubbed
of
it.
jerseys, I thought.
Yeah, well, someone woke up on
Probably.
Christmas Day with a Correa number 4 Giants jersey out there,
Oh, dude.
and probably a Mets jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
wild.
But I was in the middle of Avatar and I missed a good chunk of Avatar 2 because I was just on my phone constantly doom scrolling,
waiting for
the Correa like news to like happen because I was like, I know as soon as I turn my phone off to watch this film, it's gonna break. And
It's a long film, too.
and if I'm constantly on my phone, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing happened that night.
Yeah.
And so Boris worked overtime, got the deal with the Mets. Was drunk texting, I guess, Cohen when he's in Hawaii. He has the martinis and olive story, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Carlos makes the move to third base. Mets look like the powerhouse. They get JV then Carlos, and then the bugaboo pops back up like it was like they were surprised.
Yeah. Exactly.
What? You know, like the surprised Pikachu.
Yeah.
Oh, your medicals
picture.
aren't clean.
Look,
Like,
yeah.
What? It's kind of like what everyone else is worried about.
And now you're in a predicament where Boris isn't going to back down for his person. The union's not going to back down for the player because Cohen opened his mouth about a deal, and the league has told teams.
Yeah, they'd advise against it.
And I would say this, that the league will probably uphold this, I would think, and this is just speculation, because I don't think the league
doesn't
likes
like
Cohen right now for
Yeah.
how much money he's spending.
They'll find any way to fuck with him.
I mean, they already did the Cohen
Really?
tax, and he
So-
blew past that. So my mind goes to, I think the league will uphold this once they get the language
For pressure
set.
from the other owners.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Cohen's going to back down from this either. I think, like Josh mentioned, I think they bite this bullet. The last 4 years of that deal or whatever, even the last 6 or whatever, like Correa's probably not going to be the guy he is now, but
Well,
everyone expects that. You
And
know
there's
what I mean?
a DH in both leagues now. So like,
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
very least, he's a DH by 35.
I think he's a better shortstop than Lindor. And
He is
I
absolutely.
would agree.
Yeah.
He is
I
absolutely.
wouldn't be surprised if maybe in the future Lindor moves to
Who's at second
Second.
right now? For the
Nick
Mets?
McNeil.
McNeil.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you have a all-star caliber MVP type talent that's coming over to the Mets, and let's just say right now he sticks with the Mets. The Mets in the NL East are everyone is just loaded over there. It's just gonna be constant must-watch TV.
Yeah.
But
I mean-
two, like you literally have the NL All-Star team in the NL East with the Braves,
Yeah.
with the Phillies, and with the Mets. Like that's
pluck a few
everyone.
from the Dodgers, and then that's it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Mets team right now, and I will even say if they bite the bullet and just keep Correa with that deal they agreed upon, God, that window is open for wide open,
while.
wide open for
Yeah.
4 or 5
Well,
years.
but for the Braves too, they're going to be just back and forth.
Let's jump into the Braves real quick.
Wait. One last question about this. If you're Carlos Correa and the Mets deal falls through, do you search out a high AAV, like 5-year deal, and bet on yourself and prove that like you're still going to be good in 5 years or 10 years or 5 or 7 years or whatever? Or do you try and get like a 10-year, $250 million? You still try and find that longevity somewhere else.
If I was Correa, I would just try to find because he's probably going to have to settle for a short term. I don't think at this rate, if the Giants aren't going to do it, and if the Mets back out of it, I don't think anyone's going to do it.
Someone will do it.
I think there's one team. I think the
Not anywhere
Marlins
he
would
wants
do
to
it.
go.
I think the Marlins would do
I
it.
think Baltimore will do it.
Baltimore would do it. I think a team who isn't made, who is kind of on the cusp of making a wild card appearance, but they haven't made any huge signings, would do that. They'd be like, "Fuck it, we'll sign."
But
Correa.
I mean, I think the Mets, like they love spending money. Cohen, like if anyone's going to do it and make that risk, it's going to be him. I don't think any of these other teams are in a position to do that.
Baltimore would do it.
I think there's two ways, and I'm in the others. I understand the longevity and getting the security of it, right? I'm in the camp of doing the LeBron route. Go 2-year deals, max them the fuck out.
Yeah.
And when
he-
those 2
he
years
could
are
get
up,
a 2-year, $45 million deal each year.
and,
Easy. 2-year, 90.
and the player who we don't speak about anymore, the bad guy, the pitcher bad guy, he was doing that, and I thought that everything was going to shift that way.
Oh, he was on track to make a lot of money doing that.
Yeah, but fuck that guy.
Yeah.
But LeBron has done it, and he's showed a blueprint. Obviously, he's LeBron James, the best of the best. Like,
Yeah.
but if you go those 2-3 year max, and you high AAV that, and you obviously you're betting on yourself to sustain that athletic and health and all that, and production. But you can really maximize, and then at the very end where you're like, all right, I'm getting up there. Father Time's is coming around the corner. Let's get that high 4 or 5 year deal.
Yeah.
and you look like a winner. The other side is, I don't know. I think they've dug themselves in where they're like, we want this long-term contract and we want this high AAV. Like they've talked about it since the year before he was a free agent in Houston.
Yeah, because then does that make him look like he lost if he doesn't get it?
I don't
think he lose. I don't think we.
I think it's a legacy moment for Carlos Correa.
I think it is. I think Carlos Correa is fine. He's not. If he doesn't get what he wants in free agency, doesn't mean he's lost. It's not his fault. I don't think because of his medicals. But I will say, all this whole saga since it started when he was still in Houston, it's kind of like. It's just kind of gone nowhere.
But he produces. Like, that's the thing.
He produces,
I
for
don't get why teams are hanging their and I understand because they're putting so much money and time, but he produces.
I would just fuck it, sign him.
Yeah,
Go
if
ahead,
I'm the Mets,
fuck
I'm
it.
just doing it.
I don't care what the medicals look like. You have Correa at third base now, who is an elite defender, a very good hitter. You have a great chance, great leader. You have a great chance to win the World Series. Go fucking do it. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
That's why you're spending all this money.
And injuries are not like, it's not like football. Like, oh, Carlos Correa has a bum ankle. Let's like chop block him the entire time.
Yeah.
Like, let's go after the bad ankle.
Exactly.
It's baseball. Like, if he gets injured again, it's going to be something freak accident of sliding into a base, hitting a foul ball. Like, that happens to everyone. Like, it's not like
he's gonna be fucking fine.
They're like
you have all that
queuing
money, like buy like an Iron Man suit equivalent for his ankle.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like, put on the craziest Evo shield. Shit
like pitchers aren't cricket throwing the ball into the dirt to skip and like hit his bum ankle. They're like not doing that.
Yeah.
Just let him spin.
Yeah.
Let him spin.
To answer the
Let
final
him cook.
thing
Let him cook.
about the like what you mentioned, Josh, I think if Correa can't get that long-term deal, I don't see why. If I was him, I would go get a high AAV, 6-7 years. You know what I mean? And like you said, prove it and then fuck it.
Hey, what are the odds he ends up back at the Twins?
He might.
Front porch. He's like, hey guys, I know I opted out, but
I'm back.
if you want to if we want to resume that deal, I'm in, dude.
Yeah.
I would.
But talking about spending, team up north in southern Oklahoma, you're spending some money up there.
Yeah.
And I know the Rangers are going to Ranger, and they're vying for third place. Ben had a really good tweet, and I second this. I don't see a lot of holes in their lineup on paper right now.
Their lineup's good. They produce.
With how much money they spent, I still think they're probably like an 85, 86 win team. But they're
sneaky.
That's a sneaky wildcard team.
It feels like they're doing the Phillies route. Let's somehow get to 85, 86 wins, get in and then get hot.
I think that's just any team.
They'd be scary in the playoffs.
Well, that's just any team in the National League right now. They fucking those teams that are like, hey, we're loaded. Obviously, we're not going to win 110 games like the Dodgers, but let's get in the playoffs. Let's rest our guys. Let's get hot. Kind of like the Phillies, kind of like the Nationals, kind of like the Braves. Just get in, get hot, and get there.
Yeah,
that's I'm not saying the Rangers will do that, but it seems like what you're saying. Seems like the blueprint that they're following right now.
But they have to win, and they have to win now because they've committed a lot of money to a lot of older guys.
Yeah,
and it's all about health.
I think their season rests on Jacob deGrom. I think
we say healthy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If Jacob deGrom is Jacob deGrom and like goes crazy, wins 20 games, has like a 2 ERA, they could win 94 games.
And
but
also,
if not, they win 83.
I enjoy other teams trying to catch up to the Houston Astros because as a fan, I'm paying.
Flattering.
It's flattering, one, but two, as a fan, I'm paying money to go watch my team play, right?
Yeah.
And at least I know that everyone's coming for the champions regardless.
Yeah.
But two, now we're getting teams within the division that are actually going for it.
Yeah.
And as a fan, I'm going to be able to tell my kids one day, I got to see Shohei Ohtani. I got to see prime Mike Trout.
Yeah.
I got to see Julio Rodriguez. I got to see Jacob deGrom like in our division.
We could see them all in like a week span.
Yeah. And literally, we just have to walk 2 blocks, 3 blocks down the road and see it.
Yeah.
And like,
it's fantastic.
As a baseball fiend, I love that.
Yeah.
It's not like we're playing, the Royals every other series, like we're not doing, like we're actually going to see really good baseball.
Yeah.
We're seeing
teams play.
Superstars. We're going to see superstars.
Speaking of our division, who wins more games? The Mariners or the Rangers?
Mariners.
Yeah, Mariners.
Mariners.
I don't know.
That team is built.
Oh, what are they
So-
not scary anymore? They're not a problem
Listen,
anymore.
No.
The Mariners did a really good, sneaky good job this year of all their negative WAR spots they filled with positive WAR players.
Yeah.
And that that makes them a very tough out in the sense of like their lineup is extended 1 through 9.
Yeah.
Where I think the Rangers are still very top heavy.
But that top is dangerous.
Yeah, like in a regular season, I think the Rangers would be more of like, okay, this sucks. Like they're sticking around, but I don't want to place like if Seattle and the Rangers were in a 7-game series, I think Seattle beats them in 5.
Their pitching
Really?
is just better.
Just because they're deeper,
Seattle's pitching?
they're longer.
I don't know.
Their lineup is tough, but like in the regular season, I think the Rangers could get up there.
I think they're going to be fighting for.
I think they're
wild
both
card
probably in
spots.
that 85 to 88 range.
They're going to be end of the season. It's going to be Rangers versus Mariners for the final
Really?
wild card spot. I think.
Dude, I think Seattle. I think Seattle is
Dude, the
far and
Rangers-
above a better
Rangers
team.
had one of the best offenses last year. Of
Yeah,
any team, and then
I
now
get
they
that, but-
added Jacob deGrom.
I-
They have
okay.
pitching depth.
Am I the only one who like is looking at that rotation and going, well, you take DeGrom out of that equation? That's just an all right lineup. I mean, you have an all right lineup with an ace. Seattle's lineup, like you arguably they have 3 aces.
yeah.
I mean, their
extended
bullpen,
Luis
their
Castillo.
bullpen. There's guys that can throw filth. 102.
They had like 7 outfielders, and you traded all those for that surplus for like positions of need, like the fix.
I think
I think Seattle in a series is way tougher than the Rangers in a series, like in the playoffs. But wins over a year, that
I
lineup
think close.
That lineup kind of fucks
For sure, in 2 years, the Rangers are going to be better than the Mariners.
No, I think it's
no.
short-term
You know why?
Rangers.
Well, you know why the Mariners
You
are going
have
to be
Leiter
better.
coming up. You have Otto coming up.
Well, no. You know why the
DeGrom still.
You know why the Mariners are going to be better in 2 years still? Because they're going to get Shohei. And when they get Shohei, they'll be the class of the
I
American
don't know with
League.
how the Rangers are spending. They might.
Yeah, they might get Shohei.
Shit.
I think the Mariners are getting Shohei in 2 years.
So we'll segue out into, and this episode's just kind of all the AL catching up to the Houston Astros episode, and the New York Yankees go out and get Rodon. They actually got Judge first. Yeah. They got their guy.
They're a better team.
They got their guy back.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
They're better. Who? Wait. Say
I
it
mean, they're
again?
better than they were last year.
They're trotting out the same exact lineup, and they just added Rodon.
They are better than they were last year.
So you know
Yeah,
what? This
but-
is what
Yeah.
the Yankees
that's better
get
than
one
last
game in
year.
the ALCS. So you can bookmark this. Astros in 5. Like it's that.
Oh,
when I look,
yeah, it
when I
doesn't
look at
change.
the
I
Yankees-
know.
No, it doesn't change.
They don't but they don't make the ALCS. I don't think
That's a good take.
they're a better team than they were last year, but the teams around them
Are better.
also way better.
Yeah.
I
Man.
think they fell into a hole last year where they kind of just got lucky with their opponents. They had a really hot start and they got lucky with their opponents. They faced the Guardians and the DS. The Guardians weren't ready for that. I think this year they could face the Mariners or
I would.
The Rangers.
If they played the Mariners
If they
in the
played the
divisional series,
Mariners
they would
in
get-
the DS.
they would get their ass beat.
yeah, they would lose. 100%.
Honestly,
yeah.
that could be a really good pitching matchup.
Well, it's going to be a fantastic pitching matchup, and I just think the Yankees lineup showed us last year. Their lineup cannot play against
Judge
elite
and the other
pitching.
guys.
Yeah, but who knows that Jason Dominguez could be coming up this year, and that changes their lineup.
Well, they got Volpe and the other guy
yeah,
too.
they have a lot of like prospects that their top prospects.
They
are
trust
all
Volpe a lot.
on the cusp right now.
They've passed on
Coming up.
so many free agents.
passed on Carlos Correa like 10 times.
Yeah,
If
because they like Volpe
both
so much.
Volpe and Dominguez up like midway
I
through
think
the
that
season.
I don't know. You're relying on a lot of rookies there.
No, I know, but I still just think they'd be a better team than last year. But
Rendon's
the Blue
a good
Jays are
pickup.
also better.
Rendon was a great pickup. Left-handed freak.
Yeah.
Could throw the shit out of the baseball. The other side too is that the Astros and the fan base and everyone on Astros Twitter was talking about like, when is there going to be a move for the Astros? When is there going to be a move? And when you're in a position of strength, you don't have to make a move. And you saw that by letting Justin Verlander walk and not chasing down that $43 million deal. I think that speaks and should silence all the critics of, oh, the Astros don't have a GM. Crane's going to, fumble this and be Jerry Jones. Crane literally just said, I have a number. And if it goes over that, thank you for everything you do. And that should speak volumes.
Yeah.
I think the only whiff of this past free agency offseason was the Christian Vasquez 3 for 30. I think that's
that was
something that they
disappointing,
could have
wasn't
pulled
it?
the trigger
It was
on.
disappointing, wasn't it?
Sure.
Because I mean, friend of the program, Corey Lee, I I think as of right now, it's clear that before spring training, we needed like a veteran backup catcher still. And whiffing on Vasquez is pretty. It's not huge. It doesn't change everything.
He's going to have this chance to.
Well, I think
which I love. I want him to get that chance, but
and you have
Vasquez was
you have Janier and you have Corey playing for that last spot, essentially, and you're gonna have that's a battle all spring.
Both make it.
They could break both
because
break
we would need that DH utility guy.
And I think you have this is once again you're at a position of power and strength and leverage. The Astros very well could be after the trade deadline be like, okay, we need to get another veteran rental at catcher and make a move.
That's why
if the young guys don't come along this year.
That's why they haven't spent. They've kept the money in their pocket, so they come deadline they're ready.
I would like to see another arm, or another arm emerges from the minors. I don't. Just another innings eater.
How about like Cueto?
Nah.
A guy like a sixth starter.
No, I need a guy that's okay with being the sixth arm.
Is he not okay with that?
Being a bullpen long, and that could be a Seth Martinez. Seth Martinez could eat a lot of innings. Obviously he's a long relief guy.
Very impressive.
I just need a guy to eat some innings this year.
It could be a JP France. Could be a Seth Martinez.
And
we'll see.
And I think the other side too is you brought back a veteran. You brought back Uncle Mike.
Yeah.
You brought back a guy that is constantly going to hit 300. Yes, his power numbers dip, but
he can basically just DH now.
He could DH. He could give you a spell in left field, but he's a constant, just great teammate. And this is not like coach speak hyperbole. Like the guy is just always there. Like he didn't have to be in the dugout. He didn't have to be traveling. He didn't have to be doing all this stuff.
He made that speech that turned around the
World Series.
Yeah.
And it's those things that Michael Brantley will never say because he's so just quiet confidence. He keeps to himself. And I'm so glad that story broke because all of us have heard stuff like that in the background from different people that, he is this guy. And now that they showcase that, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's why he's Uncle Mike, man. He quietly takes care of you.
Yeah.
You got your daddy and your mommy. But the guy who's back there always keeping you up, keeping an eye on you, keeping it on your feet, but not showboating it. That's Uncle Mike.
You know who he is? He's that uncle gives you $20 and you're like you need gas.
He doesn't say a word.
Yeah, he just slips you that $20.
In the handshake. It's not like even he hands it to you just in the handshake.
And you just have that moment where you look each other in the eyes.
Like,
he knows that you needed it. And you know that he knows that you needed it.
Yeah.
And you're too prideful to say anything, but like he knows because
love that guy.
He because he was in that spot one time. Yeah, that's the kind of guy
he's like. He's like, I know where you're coming from. I was there, so I'm gonna help you out. That's why he's Uncle Mike.
And it just speaks volumes, and it should silence all the fucking haters out there because this is twice he's re-upped with the Houston Astros.
Yeah,
and he's been one of the guys that's been booed constantly and yelled at in the outfield, and he wasn't even a year in 2017. And he's re-upped with the Houston Astros twice now to keep doing what we're doing here. And I think it speaks volumes to the coaching staff, to the front office, to the team, and everyone in between of this culture of championship pedigree they built. And I'm ecstatic that he's back. And it's not like they like gave him 3 years and you're like, oh,
a 1 year deal is
perfect.
Like, 1 year deal is perfect.
And it just gives him the opportunity to come back. And obviously he's going to make everyone better. And I think he's your 2-hole.
No.
I think he's your 2-hole.
No
I think he's your 2-hole.
No, he's not.
I think he's your 2-hole.
No. And I would agree on, because I know where you're coming at with this, and I would agree on it except for that he's a lefty. And Dusty's going to go
That's fair.
lefty, righty. And then that pushes Tucker back to like 6th or 7th, and I don't.
So you could go Altuve,
if Dusty goes,
Brantley, Breggs, Jordan.
If he goes,
Abreu, Tuck.
Yeah, that's
what putting Pena that low.
Well, I mean, that line of fucking fucks, dude. Fucks, dude.
I mean, no matter way, and you could put Brantley in the 7th hole. He's gonna hit 300. This lineup fucks.
You know what I would do, which Dusty would never do. I'd hit Brantley 9th.
9?
He's your bookend,
I
like
would
your table
book in.
setter.
Brantley gets on in front of Altuve, then in front
But-
of.
I think McCormick stays at 9.
Okay, hold on.
I don't mind.
I don't hate it, but I would argue, does Brantley clog up the bases?
Maybe, but
I
I
mean, not
don't
to
know
the
if
extent
he-
like Maldi or anything, but like,
yeah.
would you rather have Chaz?
It's either Maldi ninth. I mean, well, the thing is with Brantley hitting, you would almost have to hit him second because you hit him 7th. He keeps getting on base, and then the next 2 are outs.
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Well, the argument I have with keeping Pena at 2 and play devil's advocate against my own opinion is you keep protecting the kid,
Yeah.
right? Down in, if he's in your 6 or 7 spot, he's not really protected down there.
I would love Brantley hitting in front of Pena in some way. Brantley then
So
Pena.
at 9 and then
Give the
Pena
kid,
at 2.
give the kid somebody on base, and he has protection behind him. I would do Altuve, Brantley, Pena, Jordan, Breggs, Tucker,
Abreu.
Well, you know,
God.
well, you know,
I
all
don't
the
know. I don't know.
Literally,
Just
you
making
could
this
get a magic 8 ball and make him set the lineup, and the
question.
lineup fucks.
Is that are we at some point we have to ask this question, or are we getting close to the end of the days of Altuve leading off?
I think so.
Because I think
I think so.
I mean, he said he doesn't like leading off.
because I mean I would almost put Brantley 1.
No, I was about to say, with all the weird combinations we had last year, lineup combinations, and we had McCormick leading off one time. I think Mauricio Dubon led off one game.
I don't
This
like
is-
talking about
I
that.
think Brantley's gonna end up leading off like at least one
I don't
game.
know.
He's gonna lead off a game.
There's almost any way you can do it.
The reason why I like Brantley behind Altuve is because we all know Altuve loves to jump on the first pitch. There's a lot of first pitch outs. There's a lot of like first 2 pitch outs with Altuve. Obviously, there's a lot of first pitch home runs. And,
Yeah,
and
Could
the
get
other
a lot
side of
first
it.
pitch grounded to double plays.
But Brantley behind, and this is just me of just a baseball just lover.
Yeah,
Is man, I know he's gonna do an auto take right after,
Yeah,
like
right after
he's gonna,
Altuve.
and it's gonna be grooved down the middle, and it's gonna be a freaking,
and he's not
Cookie
gonna
that he
sweat-
should-
You're not gonna sweat 1 inch.
and he won't even fucking break a sweat on it. And next thing you know, he's grinding a 7 pitch at bat, and he's got a base knock. Like that right there is just baseball
I agree.
poetry to me.
I agree.
That like Jeremy's just as aggressive Altuve.
You're probably right. They're probably because then it becomes: do you put Abreu between Jordan and Tucker, or do you put Pena? And it's like you probably put the more seasoned vet in between them.
Well,
and
I also
Pena.
like Brantley Breggs, Jordan, because Breggs is right behind who's going to give a tenacious at bat just like
Yeah.
Brantley. And then,
And then
when
you're
you finally
exhausted.
catch your breath,
yeah, when you finally get to
you have to
Jordan,
face
you're
Jordan
fucking-
Alvarez.
You just threw 12 pitches to 2 guys.
And then after that, you probably have to face. I would like Pena in this situation in the 5 hole
So after you're done,
There's nothing wrong
after
with
Jordan,
that's what I'm saying. Do you
Pena,
put Abreu there? or
who's
Pena?
aggressive. No, let's go Pena,
Okay.
Tuck, Abreu.
Okay.
that. Nothing wrong with that.
I like that.
I think I don't. I like when you said like how far are we, or
God, this lineup
are we close to
fucks.
the days
No,
of
you can
like
just click
Altuve
shuffle.
leading leadoff? I think maybe not this year, but in the near future, in the next few years, Tucker will be your leadoff
I think
guy.
Tucker is a perfect leadoff.
I think he's
guy.
your.
I've
I
been
think
wanting
he's
him
your
to lead
leadoff
off.
guy.
you know
long.
how the Yankees had Judge lead off a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be Tuck, like you guys
I
said,
know.
in a
That's
couple
what
years.
I like.
Yeah.
I've been
just
especially with
maximize
the-
all his
yeah,
at bats.
especially with the shift band. Like
Oh,
he can
Tuck.
get that little.
I'm gonna take a future bet. I may put a. Hey Tuck, if you want to look,
let's make a deal.
Look, hold on. This is only the Kyle
Let's talk
Tucker.
business.
Let's do this. I'll book it just so you won't get in trouble.
What?
But we go 50-50 on an MVP ticket.
Apollo does not condone this. and
Please,
we
Kyle,
have not
don't do what
contacted
he's
Kyle
saying.
Tucker. We
I
will
was
not
just no
contact
one's
him.
Hold up,
watching.
let him cook,
No one's
Kyle.
watching. But I'm gonna put a very tasty sized bet on Kyle Tucker to win MVP.
I think
It's possible.
I think it's.
Possible.
I
What
think.
are
on-
his odds?
I mean, it's gonna probably be 30-1.
Yeah. I think we could be seeing like a 2-horse race of the Astros MVP with Jordan and Kyle Tucker.
And I think Breggs. I think Streamer and Zips had him at like projected like high 5.9, 6 WAR this year. And if you have that type of WAR, you're in the MVP race. So now you have the argument of are all 3 taking MVP votes from each other?
Right.
Yeah.
And then you
Think
have the
so.
other side of Otani's just all fucking world.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We need Tuck.
so
to
maybe
get-
we need Ohtani to go to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And then
we need Tuck to get on the bump. Is what we need.
you know what? You know what? We
Start
should
lefty slinging
He
it.
could sling, dude.
we should let Dusty know if it's getting close, like MVP down the stretch, and we have a comfortable lead, and we up 10-0 game. Let Tuck throw an innings.
Yeah.
Let's.
Or maybe maybe he's just a reliever.
No, you know what?
Just some innings.
Tuck actually pitches one pitch. It's an intentional ball. We pull him,
And then you could call him a two-way player.
call him a two-way player, and his ERA is 0.
His ERA is
Then we'll
0?
bring in Montero,
We'll bring it
or
up with every
Presley, or
MVP
Stanek.
conversation.
I mean, what do you think? What do you think he's topping out with his fastball? What, like 97? Tuck?
Oh my god.
Well, if it's probably hitting the back.
With practice, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he could work on it.
Just
Get there.
He's
one
93
registered
easy.
pitch, and we could class him as a two-way player. Then
Yeah.
let us at Apollo do the heavy lifting of the
Yeah.
propaganda market piece
Yeah.
of promoting a two-way.
I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but I think the minimum is 20 innings pitched.
Okay, well that doesn't apply to us. I'll propaganda the hell out of it.
We'll work on that.
No, we'll still show it. Zero
Yeah.
ERA.
We'll work
Yeah.
on that. We'll work on it. Maybe he will. Maybe he will. Maybe he's gonna watch this and go, "Fuck y'all, I'm gonna do it."
He's gonna watch this as soon as we started talking about colluding in a bet with him. He's gonna
We didn't
turn it
collude.
off.
Now you're muddying the waters,
Yeah.
producer.
Yeah,
Collusion word
we're-
did not
now
go.
man,
collusion.
cares?
We're not talking-
Now we're in international
Yeah.
dangerous waters because of what you just said. Now there's intent.
Yeah.
We'll disclaimer. Apollo does not condone.
But yeah, so we'll wrap up the episode here. The Astros made moves to bolster positions. The Brantley deal made all the sense in the world. He was in Vegas with the boys.
He's healthy.
He's healthy. All the other moves and all the outside noises, them teams that catch up to the Astros. I don't know what's happening down in Atlanta. They just seem to get every all-star player to sign
What the fuck?
50%
What the
underneath
fuck,
market
man?
value.
God, they
They're
are
all-
so impressive. It pisses
Yeah.
me off.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine if we pulled that off with like Tucker already?
Is
Something
Alex Anthopoulos?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the name.
He has to have just all the dirt on everyone,
Yeah.
on the agents, on the players,
Or he's
families,
got, or he has
on their
insane
families.
or he has insane Riz.
He may be.
He might have
Is he
He's
the
a- he's a
is he
Riz-
the Riz god?
Dude, he's a Riz god. I
Is he
think
the Riz god?
he's got the
Probably.
charisma.
Yeah.
He's a Riz god, dude.
Riz. This
He-
is the Riz episode
Yeah, it's the Riz
presented
episode.
by Ritz.
Double
Crackers.
A up in Atlanta. He's rizzed on Sean Murphy a little bit, and he signed for a fucking insanely cheap contract. That guy.
Everyone
So-
does.
Everyone does.
I just want to like hang out
Bro,
with him. I bet you he would get me to sign a contract that I'd be like, how did he get me to sign this?
Acuna's contract. What it was like $100 million for 8 years.
Ozzy Albies was worse.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's actually mind blowing they didn't get fucking Hot Dansby back. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Hot
they
Dansby.
they started that run after Dansby was already past the extendable time. I
Yeah.
think.
yeah,
He was already looking ahead to free agency.
Yeah.
Riz God.
Riz God.
You know who's been
Riz
risen
God.
though? Crane.
He is.
He's
Oh,
been
yeah.
risen.
He rizzed a little bit
Slightly
on
riz.
Abreu.
He
Small
is
Riz.
risen.
He rizzed a little bit on Abreu.
Whoa.
And if
It was
there's
problematic.
he rizzed on. Well, he didn't have to rizz on Brantley. Brantley rizzed on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brantley rizzed on us a
He's
little
got
bit.
the
Really
Riz.
riz on Houston.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Coming
Bray,
back.
Riz, Montero.
A lot of Riz going on.
A lot of Riz.
Now-
Riz is hot in the
The
streets.
Montero Riz was next level. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Now if only Correa and Boris can pick up their Riz a little bit.
Yeah.
Get
Seriously.
that contract inked because I want to see Correa in a Mets jersey here in Minute Maid.
Does Boris have a Riz problem?
Dude, he doesn't have Riz.
I mean, I don't know.
Cohen-
He has to
Cohen
have
for
some
sure.
sort of Riz.
Cohen for sure has a riz problem because he just throws money at it instead.
Yeah. No.
Well, that's
No. Cohen's falling
that's
for the
bad
Riz.
Riz
Yeah.
though. You can't like
That's
you
bad
can't
Riz.
your Riz
Yeah.
can't be like, oh, I'm throwing all the money in the
No,
world.
no, that's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He doesn't have riz.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
zero
yeah.
Riz game.
Yeah. He
from
relies
him.
on his money for his.
You know,
Riz.
he's just hey, he's got a boat. You get on the boat because he's got a boat.
Yeah,
Not because
exactly.
he's cute or anything. He's
Yeah.
got a
You
boat.
just want to get on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he doesn't have Riz like that.
Right.
That's why he's throwing all this money out. Like,
Yeah.
Garrett, take us out.
well, you can follow us on all platforms: Instagram, Twitter.
You're gonna move so much for it.
What?
Continue.
You got extremely nervous.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. I was just like, I don't know how to close this out, so I'm gonna like improvise. Apollo HOU, Twitter, Instagram, Boys, plug it in. Do we just plug? Do we do that?
Hit the likes,
Yeah.
get the algorithm up,
Comment, stuff like that.
Yep.
Heck yeah, dude.
Young Lyman.
Comment which GM has the most Rizz.
and
Yeah.
comment who has the most
I know
Rizz.
who it is. It's fucking double A.
And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Yep.
And
22.
whatever holidays you also celebrate throughout this holiday period,
Yeah.
happy holidays to you.
Yep.
Happy holidays.
Shout out.
Happy New Year.
Watch baseball.
Love you guys.